Hello, bitches. Welcome back to another episode of Confessionals. I know it's been a while. I haven't done an episode since November, I believe. But the reason I haven't done an episode in the past 2 months is because I moved. I moved from Los Angeles to New York City. I am now based in New York City, eating bacon, egg, and cheese and taking the subway. And it's been a dream come true. It's been amazing. I came here because I had a gut feeling. And oh my God, it's so crazy because I sacrificed so much comfort. I sacrificed the life that I was building over there. And I bumped into a girl that I met at a coffee shop today, at the same coffee shop, because I went to do some work. And I've been hearing this a lot, but I actually heard this from her today. I've been hearing it from so many people. And she was like, wow, you're so brave because, you leave a life that you're building. And then, you come here and you don't start from zero because you've done it before, but you're like starting again. And she's the same. She moved from like France. So she's brave too. Very, very brave. But yeah, I was just thinking about that. I'm like, wow, I really did leave behind a lot of comfort because right now I'm not I'm comfortable, but not really. I'm at an Airbnb and it's a shared space, I share a bathroom. And I'm about to probably put some of my stuff in storage. I am in the uncertain. I am in the midst of the unknown. And that is what we are all the time as human beings. Like, we never know what's going to happen next. Even if our life gets monotonous and the days start looking the same, you never really know what's going to happen next. And I've acted in a way where I even down to my living situation, I am walking by faith. When I came here 3 weeks ago, I went to the airport. I was at the airport with $200 in my Apple Pay. $200. That's all I had. That is all that I had. It took me 2 weeks to find a job. Thank God, even though I was literally crashing out. But what's funny is that everything has worked out. Even while I've had my little mini mental breakdowns, everything has worked out. And it's crazy that it's only been 3 weeks. And in these 3 weeks, I have achieved mental peace because every time that I've had a crash out or that a negative thought creeps itself into my head, I train myself to focus on what I came here to do, to focus on my passion, to focus on my goals, on my ambition, on my drive, because that is what gives me peace. And everything that I desire is connected to that. So there's really no reason to worry. And those $200 that were in my Apple Pay, without a job, I was fine. Without a job, I made more money. Money appeared because I have people in my life that are amazing and that love me. And because I'm crafty and I know how to make shit appear. And yeah, and then I found a job and everything has worked out. Absolutely everything has worked out. And that is what always happens when you trust yourself, when you trust your feelings, and when you have discernment. So that brings me to today's topic: how being brave became my default. Number one thing, and I've mentioned this before, I got tired of my own shit. I really did get tired of not trusting myself and not doing what I wanted. I don't want to be living a life that I don't want to live. I don't want to be doing things that I don't want to do. Why would I do that in this precious thing we call life? It's my life. It is my life. Why am I going to put myself through relationships, through situations that I don't desire? Why? Because of what other people might think? Because because of the like status quo or whatever. I don't give a fuck, bro. It's really not that serious. I've tried that route. I've tried that route. I can't speak route and fallen into peer pressure. And I will suck my own dick a little bit. Peer pressure did give me a master's degree, but I mean, that's it. Like, I'm not using it and I don't intend to use it. And I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to be in school. And it's just what a waste. What a waste to live a life led by fear. What an absolute I'm scared of fear. Like, no, I don't want to deal with that. So after experiencing that, I have done everything possible to jump and do the things that I'm scared of. Like today, I did a little thing and I kind of half-assed it, but I did it. I wanted to film a little video to submit to agents and managers because I need representation for acting. And I thought of it as I was in the train. I'm like, oh, I should do like a TikTok style video on reasons why they should rep me, why they should choose me. And I was like, oh, should I do it right here in the train? And people do crazy shit on the train. Like, nobody really cares. But at the same time, I mean, not to suck my own dick. People do stare at me and that makes me nervous. So I didn't do it because I'm like, if there's people that already stare at me, I don't want to be like doing this video and having more people stare at me. So I'm like, why don't I do it while I'm walking in the freezing cold? And then that'll make me really focus because it's so cold. It's like 10 degrees. I'll bring myself to like a zen and then do the video. Did the video and there's people passing by and these girls just like laughed at me. And I was like, literally what I was scared of happened. But it's just like, now that I did it. Oh, by the way, in the video froze. My phone froze. That's how cold it is. My phone froze and turned off and I lost the video. But it's no big deal. I mean, it's whatever. I think the only reason I got that thought in my head was not for the video, but just to do what I was scared of. And then what I was scared of was like people making fun of me happened. And then I realized like, okay, it's just I clock the girls like looking at me and being like and like it wasn't that bad, it's just I don't remember what they looked like. I did it like in the moment. It did feel like my heart sunk a little bit, but it was literally like a tiny little pinch. How long does that last? A second? Half a second? Nothing is a big deal. Nothing is that serious. So my point is that I battle my fear. I face my fears head on. Every time that I have a fear, I face it head on to the point where I don't really have fears. Like public speaking, even though that's always been second nature to me, there have been points in my life where I have been scared of presenting or like public or speaking in front of crowds or whatever. So the 3 weeks that I've been here, I've gone to events that will make me get up and present in public and do public speeches. Like the last thing that I did is tell your story when you took a leap of faith. I literally spoke in front of like 20 strangers, just open mic. And I felt like a little jitter, but it's really not that big of a deal. Now, when it comes to the bigger things, like moving cross country, facing your fears. Yeah. I mean, I did it while I was in Texas and then I came here. And the thing with that is that you have to be very intentional. Like you can't just, you can jump into the pool. Like that's one way of doing it. You see a cold pool, you're scared that it's cold and you just jump it. But I think what really helped me was sitting down and creating a game plan to how I was going to do things. And then that replaced the fear with excitement. And I would focus more on the fact that I was doing my heart's true desire. What you give energy to is what manifests. And the whole thing about being scared of doing something that you want to do, there's two sides of that token. It's you are doing the excitement of doing something that you actually love versus whatever's on the other side of fear, right? And most people just turn their gaze to the fear. So that's why they don't do it, because to them, what they desire is equivalent to negativity and bad things. But when you learn to associate it with more positives, that's when the fear really disappears. And yeah, like it's really that simple. I don't really know if I'm adding much value in this episode, but one thing that has really been ingrained in my head as of recently is that everything is actually so simple. Human beings, we have been programmed the wrong way. We have been programmed in a way where we're scared of doing things. We betray ourselves, where we have trauma, where we just fall into these repetitive loops. We are little computers that are misprogrammed, or we're malfunctioning, and the whole point of us being here on earth is to fix that glitch, to fix our programming. And once we fix that programming, it's like messy at first, and then literally it is so simple and structured, and there's not much there other than the things that can sound very toxic to us, like be more positive, focus on the good, gratitude. These things can be annoying to hear, because I understand that when you go through very difficult things in life, emotionally and mentally managing to put yourself in a positive place can be challenging. Absolutely, definitely. I've been there. Like I said, I've battled with depression ever since I was 8 years old. My life has not been easy by any means. But the thing that has served me the most and given me the most resilience is gratitude, and being positive and reprogramming myself to have that as my default. Because when I have that as my default, any challenge that comes my way is addressed like this immediately. It's like a computer that has a really good protective system. So when there's a virus that comes in, that virus doesn't even come in. It's exterminated. It's absolutely exterminated. And well, how do you program yourself to be like this? Trial and error. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a software engineer, but this is the best analogy that I can think of. And when you're programming something, when you're coding a computer, I assume that it's not a smooth process always, right? That there's some errors, that you have to delete some stuff, that you have to arrange things. It is not what we would consider perfect. And I know that these 3 weeks have been so intensive. It's like an intensive class that I'm attending right now, where I get an intrusive thought or a negative, or I start thinking of my little desires. My little desires being, oh, I want my own studio or 1-bedroom apartment that is cozy, pretty, that is just mine. That is a small desire. It's not small, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a small desire. That small desire. And then another small desire, having a lot of money, having a lot of freedom. Another small desire, going on vacations. But my living situation being the most in front of my face right now. And when I think of that too much and what I'm going to do about that, I get stressed. And I get worried. When I start thinking about money, I get worried and I get stressed. But I've been training right now to focus on the big picture, the big goal, the big desire. The big desire is to be an actor, to be successful, to be a writer, to make beautiful art. Because when you focus on the big picture, when you really zone in and lock in, everything else unfolds. Everything else is connected. So really, it doesn't matter how much money I have. It doesn't matter what my living situation is. It doesn't matter what even my job situation is, because when I focus on my art, I'm at home and I am happy. And all my other desires are going to stem from that. So whenever I get those intrusive thoughts and I start worrying about not having money or or like I need to book another place to live because my time is almost done here, or whatever it is. Like when I didn't have a job and I was going to so many interviews and I wasn't getting hired, and I was worrying, literally in the midst of the worry, I would like, I don't know how to put it into words, but I'm just getting like a mental image of all the mess, like SpongeBob when there's a bunch of little SpongeBobs and there's like offices on fire and everything's on fire, like that image getting reversed and everything just goes back in order and everything is clean. And then now I'm zoned in and I am in the middle thinking, hey, these negative feelings, this worry is an indication that you don't trust God, that you don't trust yourself, that like you're worried that things are not going to work out, really, when you've gone this far. And I start questioning myself. It's like, okay, bitch, relax. Everything's going to be okay. And literally, as I've relaxed, some money appears, something appears, the job, I'm looking something online, like everything just aligns. Even though I haven't been perfect, even though I have quote unquote struggled, not really, but yeah, like I like now I'm better. But from week 1 being in New York to week 3 that I'm in right now, the progress, like now I can return to ground myself almost less than 5 minutes, whereas before I would be battling my emotions for a whole day. And yeah, now I'm not really worried because these 2 weeks have been a living testament that when I trust myself and that when I release and let go, everything falls into place. And why would I worry when God has proven to me time and time again that things work out? Like, why am I going to waste my precious present moment on worrying when everything works out? And everything that doesn't work out is meant to be. An example, I came here with no job security, but I did have an interview for a potentially very lucrative job lined up. It was going to be a full-time job as a stylist. It was a sales job. Very fancy, very high-end luxury, like private deal, like a cool New York fashion girl job that on paper looked cute and fun and creative, but it was a full-time job. And if you've been listening to me, we know about how you know how I feel about a full-time fucking job that is not acting. And I said, okay, I'm gonna try it out. It happened for a reason. I made it to the final round of interviews. I was so sure that I was hired because even my third round went really well. And I hear about 2 days ago that I didn't get the job. And I just felt like these past 3 weeks, I was just clinging on to that job that was going to start in March. I'm like, oh, I got job security. I'm good. Like, it's fine. Whatever happens, I got that job. When I heard that I didn't get it, I felt relieved. I felt so relieved because I said, you know what? This is God telling me that this is not for me. Like, my full time is not for this fashion job, for this sales job. My full time, my precious time is for my art, for my independent art, for my writing, for my books, for my scripts, for my acting, modeling. That is what my full time is for. And that is how I felt when I kind of already had a feeling, like the day before the recruiter told me. But once I officially heard it, I was like, yeah, I kind of got excited in a weird way. And yeah, I'm not worried. I mean, I have a bartending job that I'm not particularly the biggest fan of, but I'm grateful because that is giving me enough to live here. You know, even if it's not the most luxurious, comfortable situation, I have money to live here, and everything is good. All I need is access. All I need is access, and I have that. And I have time. And everything works out when you trust yourself. And literally, in order to have Brave be your default, that is all you need is self-trust. So that's the homework. That's the assignment. How do I trust myself? Trial and error. Do little things that you're scared of. Do little creative things that'll keep you afloat. Like my trigger work journal, I needed to express myself creatively somehow. So I created that, and that made me feel good. My children's book that I wrote last year, I did that, and that made me feel good. It's all about training your perspective. If a negative thought creeps, hey, you don't punish yourself, because that's counterintuitive. That doesn't make any sense. That's not going to help. What you do is you treat it as a siren, as a little alarm, and you're like, oop, why is this popping up? Why is this here? You approach your negative emotions with curiosity and with love and with care. And you take a moment, you pause, and you're like, why am I? You can accept. Sometimes it feels good to be like, damn, I feel like shit right now. I don't feel good. And that's what I've been doing these past 3 weeks, is like, if I don't feel good, I tell myself, oh, I don't feel good right now. Like, I really don't. Like, I'm praying or talking to myself or talking to God. Like, oh, I don't like this feeling. I don't like this feeling. And I'll say that out loud. And then I'll be like, okay, why do I feel this way? And then I remind myself of the things that I've been told and taught and learned, the positive things, and boom, 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 it all rearranges itself, and then I feel good again, and everything is fine. And the more I do that, the less it happens, and the more automatic it becomes. Yeah, it's really all about shifting your perspective, being more positive, pushing yourself into the cold water. And once you're there for a minute or two, you're like, wow, this feels so good and it's so refreshing. And I feel light. Literally same emotions. It might be a little scary for that split second, or a little painful, but it's so worth it. Treating the negative emotions, validating yourself, giving yourself that space, and then addressing it. Oh my God, it does wonders. And also just shifting your perspective to seeing the negatives not as negatives, but as challenges. An example is the breakup I went through in 2024. You know what's funny is, like, looking back, I never viewed it as a negative. It's so weird. Like, I was distraught, I was hurt, but I never really consciously, at least, thought, oh, this is a bad thing. This is a negative thing. And it wasn't, even though it did not feel good at all. That was pivotal for my growth as a woman, as a human being. It was actually a good thing. Just because challenges hurt doesn't mean that they are bad. They can be good things. So you just have to change your perspective. For example, right now, I really want a studio apartment. That's what I want right now. How's that looking? I don't know if I'm going to get it this year, even though I really wanted it. But instead of forcing it, I am trusting the vision. And I made this discovery that if I focus too much on a small desire, it takes attention away from my big desire. And my big desire is going to give me that small one. Like, all these little desires, like money, home, even a partner, all of these are the babies of my passion. All I have to do is follow my passion, and then the rest will come. So yeah, when I experience challenges, oh, I'm not getting this or I'm not getting that, I'm not obsessed with finding a partner, a boyfriend. But if I was, I would be frustrated that I don't have one right now, if that was the situation. I'm comparing it to my studio apartment situation. I could be frustrated, but I'm not, because it's like I know that it's coming. I have that already. It's coming. Like, I know what I deserve. I know what I'm getting. And it's really as simple as just following the best feeling that you get, the purest, most alive feeling that you have in your heart. And for me, it's my art. And my art is going to give me all of these beautiful babies and desires that I want. And it's so easy. Oh my God, it's so easy. Once you get out of your own way, everything is so fucking easy. Like today, I've had my little anxieties here and there. Like I'm still working, I'm still learning, I'm still growing. But generally, overall, it is so easy to just like let go of control. Like you really don't have to do anything. You don't have to do shit. All you have to do is follow what, and it sounds hedonistic. I know. The thing about this, so the difference between following your biggest desires and following your heart, from the difference between that and hedonism is that hedonism is selfish. And this, when you're pure-hearted, when it's a passion, intentions are pure. And the whole point of it is to serve people. I only want to make art because of the people. Because I'm surrounded by people, and because of the impact that it has, and because of stories. And it's part of being a human being in this world with other human beings. That is a difference. It is self-serving for the purpose of serving other people. And it's pure. Again, it's pure. There's nothing corrupt about it. And it's easy. It's easy because if you really ask yourself, what do I actually want? What did I always want to do as a kid? What is that? Your inner child should always be present. I feel the same way that I felt when I was 3 years old, when I was 5, when I was 9, when I was 13. I feel the exact same way. I'm the same person. I remember all my feelings, all my thoughts from them. It's the same thing. Same thing, just a little bit more thoughts now that have accumulated. But it is the same thing. I still had complex thoughts back then as a little kid. Maybe I didn't have the words to put those thoughts or feelings together, but the thoughts were there. And I am the same person. And we were never meant to be disconnected from our inner child. That is who we are at our core, is pure souls. We are children. And when we connect to that, think of how easy it is to play as a kid. Think about how easy it is to be silly, to see something and be, I want that. To know what you want. When you're a kid, you know what you want. It's easy. It's easy. And that is how brave becomes your default. It is when you live from a centered place and you know who you are, and you have developed, or you are developing, emotional regulation, and you follow your excitement, and you can turn your perspective when there's quote unquote negatives that pop up. You see those as, instead of negatives, you see them as challenges, and you ask, what is this trying to teach me? What is this trying to teach me? Like everything now that I encounter is like, okay, this must be a lesson. If something doesn't pan out, something that I think that I want doesn't pan out, if a relationship or a connection doesn't work out, it's for a reason, bitch. It's really that simple. I just ask, what is this trying to teach me? And usually I get the answer fairly quickly. And that takes off so much weight, so much pressure when I'm not worried about my living situation right now, because I know that what I want is gonna unfold from me living literally in the easy mode. Like living in easy mode is what's gonna give me all of the stuff that I want. And if I worry about all the stuff that I want, like it's I hope I'm making sense. You get the picture, you get the image, I would hope. But yeah, it's been great. I'm excited. I can't believe it's been 3 weeks. It really feels like one of those hardcore intensive SAT classes where you are learning so much. I feel like it's gone by so fast and so slow because I've literally processed information that has taken me previously a year or two to learn. I have learned all that in 3 weeks, bro. 3 weeks, accelerated program. So that's why it feels long, but it's also gone by so fast. Like, I can't believe I'm gonna probably leave this place soon and go somewhere else. And now my reframe when with my living situation is how exciting. How exciting that I can experiment in different parts of New York until I reach a little bit more stability. And how exciting that I have great, reliable friends here that are so willing to help me and to offer me their time and their couch and whatever I may need. Like, how exciting to be in the city where I have in only 3 weeks met amazingly talented creative people. How fucking exciting. All with $200 on my Apple Pay when I went to the airport. You hear a lot of stories where people are like, oh, like, I moved here and I moved there, and they're rich, right? So people are like, oh, must be nice being rich. But whenever I read those comments, it's like, bitch, you don't have to be rich. You just have to have motherfucking balls. That's it. Have some motherfucking balls, bitch. But yeah, that concludes today's episode. I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye.